Aha! Welcome. That was our brand new mega production opening. Thanks,
Yeah,
Shane.
well, it got my tick of approval. It's got the max
Yes,
tick of approval.
love it, love
I
it,
like
love
the
it.
Marvel vibes.
Yeah,
There's a fine line between plagiarism and homage, and I think we stuck the landing there.
yeah. Anyway, well, hi Max.
Danny?
Of course, welcome to ComX Aussie Indie Review, and this is where we look at the current and classic Aussie indie titles. And this week, we are going to concentrate on the winner of the
Comic Arts Awards of
Awards of
Australia.
Australia. There we go.
If I could just do a quick preface. Yes, well, if I could just do a quick preface. Last Friday,
Yep.
ComX was the streaming host for the CAAA Awards. And today, a few days later, we are now going to sift through the pages of its winner of the title that took out the
gold
main
ledger.
prize.
Yes. I think the awards are still called the award itself. The physical trophy is called a ledger.
Still called a ledger.
So you got the Academy Award, you got the Oscar, and we have the CAAAs, and you have the ledger, the little square trophy that looks like made by my mum. Yeah, and
okay, nice.
And the winner was Dead City Lullabies by Aidan Roberts. A self-published book. There we go. That's the cover.
I love that cover. Yes.
Not available as a physical copy. Sorry, I'm just going to get rid of my little header here. And online, free. He financed this all himself. There was no Kickstarter involved, and I'm really impressed. And obviously the
top to bottom, all one man. Yeah.
Well, I was talking before to Shane, and I thought you would probably feel a bit of kinship towards it, because to me this is similar to Stellar Lands, the start. A bit of that space opera thing happening.
All right.
Woman protagonist. But when I saw the art, I love the art, and then I read the story. I'm going, okay, well, what's happening here? But then I went to his website, and then that just opened up a whole new world. He's got glossaries, he's got world building, he's got maps, he's got little
like a whole robust lore. Yes, yeah. And also preview pages of the next chapter. Yes.
Yeah, and reading those extra pages from volume 2. It actually helped with the ending of volume 1, because I thought, what's going on here? Okay, this is lovely, but this is just one comic. I see a start, I see a middle, but where's my end? I want the big end. I only had a kind of like a small end, but then I got a bit of a.
I had no problem with that. Resolution is overrated, both in comic books and in life.
Oh, not me. I love a start, middle, and end. Like, I have a tendency to write very short stories. I specialize in 5 to 8 page stories, some 3 to 8 page, and
in many ways it's a lot harder than actual issue. Yes.
Well, and that started from me writing 150 word stories, which had they were almost like a paragraphs with a punchline. Something that 2000 AD did with those thugs stories. But this is obviously in for the long haul. You get that especially when you do the deep dive onto the archives and the website.
Yes,
and the real appreciation of it. Yeah.
Stakes established or a perceived enemy introduced, conflict established. That you leave the pages with a lot to go on for the next issue, and it looks like there will be a next issue. But even if there wasn't, my fictional appetite was well and truly satisfied. I don't need that resolution in order to just enjoy the space and the environment that was offered. And sometimes the best films are like that. They're just I'm here for the vibes.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
yeah,
But the the artwork is wonderful. The environment's wonderful. But I got a feeling there was like three story elements happening. There was the main one. There was the intro and that little one where the guy's in the house with his cat and um, that part there. And I thought, oh, okay, this is all leading to something. But now,
that's all. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I really want to look at it. I want to
But
follow
the
it up on.
intro and the gentleman with the cat, they were both part of the same of that same chapter
Okay.
of the same
Mm,
world. Yeah,
yeah.
within the issue. Yes.
But this a little background into Aidan. I know he's from Sydney, but he's a musician, and he said in his acceptance speech at the CAAA's that it started as a musical project, and the art was there to accompany the music. Now I think that's taken a whole turn because now he has actually a SoundCloud account with the music, and it's all very ambient and incidental, which is it's quite lovely to.
Explains the vibes. Yeah.
Mm. And so he's it's grown out of that. Apparently, it started back in 2007. So and
It's commitment. Yeah.
yeah, and this is like the only bit of art that I can find on the web at the moment that he's done as a project. So art as in the the drawing
Yes.
art, not the musical art. So
Yes.
but I think he's got a real bright future, and that's not bad. If it's Izzy's first comic, getting the gold ledger straight off the bat,
Yeah.
that says a lot for his talent. And
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
you tell me what you found. You're the one who got me into it. You're the one who said, oh, "Did you see that? Did you read it? I
Yeah.
downloaded it. I
Well,
loved it." And I thought,
yeah.
I'll give it a go.
Let's
If it's
jump
not
on
a
the
gold ledger, it'll
CAAA
probably be about
beast. Yeah.
koalas. Yeah. But tell me what
Oh,
got
well,
you.
first of all, just right off the bat, there's a sense of rhythm
Mm,
to the to the comic book. I mean, both comic books and music, they do play with time in a sense. They're both temporal media. At some point it begins and at some point it ends. You can, but it's not recommended that you just jump in the middle somewhere, like as if it was a giant Jackson Pollock painting. You can
mm,
start your visualization at any point in the painting, or a William S. Burroughs novel where you could literally open it up any page of Naked Lunch and you'll receive the same sort of poetry you get had you started it at the beginning of Naked Lunch. So in that sense, both comic books and both literature and music and film, they're all temporal. They play with time. They play with a sort of teleological narrative. And the thing that really brought the both media of music and this comic book to the fore was their sense of rhythm, the sense of pacing that you get right after that prologue. Prologues at the beginning, is that correct? Epilogues at the end.
mm-hmm.
Right. I get mixed up. It's like stalactites, stalagmites, prologue, epilogue. But yeah, once you hit the body of the story after finishing that gorgeous prologue, we hit the canyon, and then we find ourselves going deeper and deeper in right up until you hit the base of the canyon and the discovery of the spaceship in rather quick succession. It's yeah, you're really propelled there by the sense of panels and by the sense of minimalist sound and text. And yeah, that's one thing I definitely took away from it. Yeah, a sense of pace and a sense of rhythm. Recently I saw this film called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, and it's a black and white vampire film. It might be set in Iran, but it looks too much like LA within the Iranian community there. And it follows
I think
Iranian.
I watched the first 20 minutes of it and I got sidetracked. I know exactly what you're talking about. I
Yes.
thought this is weird for something out of the Middle East. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. the director, the directress, she is a DJ, which explains again the sort of rhythm and
Rhythm on, yeah.
yeah, the lack of reliance on dialogue and just putting at the crux of your attachment to something, the emotion, the emotion and the time and the pacing, and yeah, that's how you know that something was written or directed by a musician. Your relationship to it in terms of time.
Mm.
Yes. And yeah, if I could just talk quickly about the prologue, that poetic voiceover that accompanies those melancholic images of a post-apocalyptic city, which was once very beautiful. It reminded me of a Terence Davis film called "Of Time in the City." Have you heard of that?
No.
It's an ode to Liverpool, where a lot of it, yeah, it was. I mean, not Liverpool here, Liverpool in the United Kingdom, and it's a lot of newsreel footage and archival footage set to a narration by, I believe, Terence Davis himself, and he's reading poetry. He's reading. He's reading A.E. Houseman, and he's reading Ozymandias, and that voiceover is played over the newsreel of the city of Liverpool in gestation and in fruition, and yeah, I got that same sense of providing an ode within the first few pages
I
of
find that ironic that Byron would never have set foot up the north. The guy who wrote
Byron.
Ozymandias. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I just find that. Um, I did also notice as we get away from the prologue into scouring the ravine that Aidan kind of thinks, well, I'm not going to make this easy um, for the reader. I'm going to use my own language as well, and that's another thing I found out that he has a glossary on his web page as well. So it explains most of it. You can figure out yourself because
Mhm.
it's just a way to make use swear words, I suppose. And things like that. But yeah, there's little bits of slang and all that he's invented himself, and also topographical parts. They've all got these different names and how you
Like
pronounce
scar
them.
and lip and
Oh, no, just the names themselves.
okay.
Yeah, but the scar makes sense. But he also says that finding um, uh, crashed spaceships is not uncommon. So she's not a scavenger or anything. She is a scientist.
Dr.
And
Alpine, yeah, it's right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
there's a lot more that I would love to get out of this, but at the moment I am intrigued. I am intrigued. Uh, its time zone time frame is apparently is the same as Earth. It's a very Earth similar planet with a
Okay.
total different history though. So there's familiar things and there's unfamiliar things. Uh,
Yeah, well, that's the best of sci-fi, right?
mm.
Yeah, you use, yeah, science fiction to fill in the gaps of science.
The way that she communicates with the AI of the
Alice,
ship
yes.
is also that's pretty much a tropey kind of thing, even in the way it's been formatted. You know, with the
Yeah, I
different.
love that. The
Yeah.
textual visualization, and especially when they're coming in and out of frequency. And yeah, when that happens, there's a sort of broken visualization reminiscent of failing televisions from the 90s. I liked it. Yeah, it
Oh, it
was
works because
really
you
innovative. Yeah.
know that it's off screen. It's always off, so that you don't have to have it's a great narrative tool, I reckon, because you're having a conversation and you don't have to. have two people in shot or anything like that. You don't have to kind of make that uh, presence in the frame because you know that it's always off. So you can show more pieces. Like there's a wonderful shot when she's going over the scar. I'm looking at it now, but I'm not going to show anybody here. The Sol Permi Dante, or whatever it is, and you've got them having a conversation, but you don't care that you're not seeing who's talking because you know who's talking because of the different formats of the captions. But and then you got this beautiful picture of the ship going through the ravine. It's just gorgeous. The muted colors really work.
Yeah,
There's a color palette. So if
almost like watercolors. Yeah,
if he's doing the writing, the inking, the coloring, and the lettering, this guy's a genius. If this is his
yeah.
first book, he's a
One
genius.
man banning, one
Yeah,
man banding it. Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
He's got a massive future. You know, yeah, I really want to see where this goes because it is clever. It is clever. And my
Yeah,
first opinion was, where's the story? I told you that. When you first sent it to me, I thought it's beautiful art. Where's the story? But yeah, you have to invest
yes,
in this comic to
yes.
get the
Well,
most out of it.
well, to me, I think the most important connection isn't necessarily the story itself; it's the emotion. And yeah, I did get that sense of at the end, that sense of stakes and thrills, and at the beginning, that melancholy sort of nostalgia for
Oh, mm.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with that. Yeah, you obviously she's looking at
apocalyptic films of old.
something that
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
yeah.
But what did you make on the third page? It starts off with a quote, a bit of poetry, and
Yes.
I'm thinking that symbol at the bottom of it is like a signature. Um, I noticed that all the characters have these things on their neck or on the
All
sides of
right.
their head. They're all different little symbols. I haven't gone back to check who it was. I should have done that before I actually got on tonight, and I would have had been a bit more. But what do you think of the poetry, the third page, just before the prologue starts?
All right. Well, just yeah. The poem, I don't entirely remember it, but I do remember the final lines, like something about a cloak. Like I put on a cloak, and
Yeah, well,
yeah.
but it's got here. I saw sunsets cast in crimson. Oh, hang on. In crimson bathed their blood upon my floor. Now that's something else that pops up later. I hung my cloak and closed the door. My capital, my people, my all. That sounds like leaving the end of a story, doesn't it? Or the
Yeah.
leaving something for the last time.
Oh,
So
right, right. No,
mm,
that's well, I'm sure this will resolve into view with future entries.
mm,
Cities have gone, lost lonely holes. I saw sunsets cast in crimson. Yeah, yeah, it's very Blade Runnery,
mm.
very sea beams glittering in Tannhauser gates, and what everything that is becomes nothing.
I just remembered something too.
Yes.
Um, as we're going through the prologue and they're going through the underworld of city, there's a symbol.
All
There's a
right.
thing that looks like a symbol. It looks like a statue. And when you go to the web page and have a look at a bit of the history, that seems to pop up everywhere.
All right.
Erie's only just alluded to it just a little bit, and it's in the what is it? Page one. Starts with page 3 of the story, right in the last panel, and there's this thing there that I only picked up by accident when I was going through the history of it's called Ies, I think the
All
planet.
right.
It's pronounced. It looks like Aries, but he says it's pronounced Ies, Ies, or something like that. Yeah, and I just noticed, oh, that shape. It's I won't give it away because I think that it might become important later on. Let other people find it their own little way. Do you know what
Well,
I'm talking
great.
about?
Yeah. Attention to visual detail is something that I should hone. I'm always reading
Mm.
it like a book. You know, I
Yeah,
have to stop doing that. I gotta,
it's a visual medium,
yeah,
Max.
I have to start being more measured in my my consumption of each
Yeah.
panel.
Well, there you go. You said you attack it because the beauty of the flow and the poetry of it. And I'm looking at the pictures, going, oh yeah, this is not bad.
Mhm.
So maybe we should read it with each other's eyes, and we probably. But it does bounce backwards and forwards. There's some lovely visuals, like
Mhm.
um, uh, the flying ships, the ruins. It
Yeah,
has
yeah,
that
the flying
Earth
ships look
kind of feeling.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's definitely not Earth because you can. Uh, there's some like a few animals there that just don't look like they belong. But eh,
that's right. Yeah.
uh,
Well, that never occurred to me. I mean, yeah, I always assumed that maybe it was Earth several millennia into the future when evolution has taken another form. But yeah, you consulted the glossary and it was confirmed that it was another planet altogether. Is that correct?
yeah, yeah, and also a similar timeline to where we are now. It's actually 2022. That's when the comic was only produced in November. So, did you actually were you aware of it before
No,
the awards?
no, no.
Just
Right up until CAAA, so they're doing great work in getting some titles out there. So yeah, we have to doff our ComX branded hats to the CAAAs for
well,
bringing to our attention such works.
well, if your Stellar Lands is up for this year too, isn't it? Because it was
I
released
don't
this
know.
year.
I don't
Yeah.
know what the eligibility criteria is. Yes.
Oh, was it? Are you Australian? Did you make it in Australia? Did you
Yes.
print it in Australia? Yeah, you're eligible. Don't worry. I, I, I,
Um,
I, this look promising for you because if if they like this, if they have a similar judging panel, you might have a bit of a run because I can see a few parallels between Stellar Lands and this.
yeah. Well, we'll wait for issue 2. When that comes out, I'm gunning for January print. But yeah, if that meets the eligibility criteria, then yeah, that's something that I definitely would love everyone's
That's
feedback
good, good. Well, it looks like this Aidan Roberts is pumping out the work with this number two, and uh,
First
they,
issue is always the hardest, you know.
yeah,
First,
but
the blank
he's
page.
done it well.
Yeah.
We should. Do you reckon we should? Is there any links that we can do that we can say to go to on? Um, can just bear with me a sec.
All
Yeah,
right. Yes. And and for those of and for those who are interested in checking out Dead City Lullabies, you could go visit their Substack page at
yeah,
deadcitylullabies.substack.
yeah,
And
yeah,
not
yeah,
only
yeah.
yes,
Yeah, www.substack.com. No, I think it is. Yeah, no,
yeah,
not au.
yeah. You don't need to say the www anymore.
I do. I love it. I'm old school. I'm a boomer. Give you
Okay. All right,
millennial.
fair enough. But yeah, the contents of that page. It's not just the world of within those pages of that first issue of Dead Sea Lullabies. There, as Danny has alluded to throughout this review, there's a whole robust world to investigate in the form of all of those other additional material, from a glossary to some world building text.
There's
Yeah,
also some maps of the world there as well.
right.
There's laid out there. It's a bit
I
of
only
a
checked out the preview pages for the next issue. Yes.
well, and you can get them there as well, and you can download the whole comic for free.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. Yeah,
it's definitely worth it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there
And
was an offer for physical copies, but I believe it was limited, and that number may have already been hit.
oh,
So
okay. That'd be a bit
yeah,
of a collector's item then.
yeah,
But if you put Dead City Lullabies into Google, you actually also find a link to the music. So
yeah,
he's
excellent.
yeah, the sound. Oh, what's
Yes.
it called? Yeah,
What?
SoundCloud page.
Yeah.
SoundCloud page. Nice ambient music. It works well. He's very talented.
Very complementary to the imagery of the comic. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay, interesting. Yes.
And I can see how when he said that the art was originally for the music, and it's done a complete turnaround. Who knows? In his mind, he may be just doing boards for a movie he has in his mind. There you go.
Okay.
He's already done the boards, and he's already written the music. He's just waiting.
Well, the movie's pretty much completed already. If there are storyboards, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. That's about it for us for this week.
And I think the CAAAs picked well.
Very,
right?
very well, very well. For someone who is a newcomer, relatively unknown from a lot of the comic community. Let's face it, there are little pockets all over the place. You can't know everybody, but I think he got to the forefront. He very much has shot to the forefront, and I'm really looking forward to anything else he's got to do. And it's great coming in this late because he's already got this whole heap of stuff that you can look at straight away, and he's already adding to it with part 2. So,
Okay. Excellent. That sounds great. Although I'm pretty much a neophyte into this media, so my opinion is uninformed as in terms of who he was up against for that big award. Would you have any opinions in that regard?
I think it works. There's 6 people, and I might be totally wrong here, but I think this is how it used to work. And if I am wrong, I apologise. That of the 6 people, if 2 people pick the same one, that if 3 people pick the same one, or 4 people pick the same one, that's where it goes up in the pile of gold, silver. Say 4 people picked one person only, one comic, they might get a bronze. Say 2 people picked the same one, that'll get a silver. And if say 4 people picked the same one, that'll get a gold. I don't know exactly how it works, but that was how it was done once. Someone told me something like that.
Yeah.
But it won gold all by itself. I remember one year there was like 15 bronze, 2 gold, and 15 silvers or something. But no, this year it was pretty much, there was a winner, an out-and-out winner, and that was Dead City Lullabies.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, it would be great if we could, in future episodes, if we could review all the other nominees and winners of the various levels. I mean, I know Neverlanders was one, and Betricia was another. So yeah, I think there's a few there that we can peruse. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but you've got both of those, haven't you? Well, Neverlanders is 2 well-established Australian
yes,
a writer and an artist who actually work for the majors with a huge publishing house behind them, and a self-published comic beat those guys. Bactisha was he got a silver, was it Bactisha, or a bronze? I think maybe got a bronze.
The bronze. Yeah.
That Comic Oz, that's Nat Carmichael's imprint out of Brisbane. So I know he does a lot of work pushing things, and Dylan is pretty much a legend of the Australian comic fraternity. Yeah, we reviewed him when we did Toby and his Magic Pencil. Remember, he did the first version of that before Ben Sullivan took over. Okay, all right. Well, saying that, thanks once again, Max. Thank you very
no problem.
Spasmodic things that we do. Hopefully, more regular now that we have a real proper opening.
Yeah, no, great. No, love it.
Yeah. All right.
So before we go, if this episode makes it to stream before Comic-Con weekend in Sydney, I will I'll just say see you there, and come say hi. We're we at ComX are a very approachable lot. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll see you there at Sydney Comic-Con.
All right. I hope you have a successful run.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.